Hello, everybody. Today I thought I'll go over my first art journal with you. This is how the book looks. It's hand bound, made with loose pages. There are about 10 pages in this book. Um, the cover is also handmade. I have just stuck two pieces of cardboard and bound the spine with the this sheet. um, and it says June to August 2020. So this is what I did during that period. Each of the page was created as a separate page and then bound together in this. So let's go through this. So this one is actually from one of the kids' coloring books. I just took out the butterfly image and loosely colored it, and all of the coloring that you see here along with the texture is made using a texture paste which is heat embossed, and then the acrylics are added on top of it. It gives a really rich look and nice to feel and touch as well. For the butterfly, I've added a quote or sentiments that say travel, embark, and collect. Beautiful moment. I think it kind of goes really well with the image. The second one is also a butterfly. Here, I've used one of my favorite go to techniques when I am lost for ideas. So, the idea is to just put around different pieces of paper. So here it's all squares and rectangles put together, and then a layer of gesso, and add highlights to it. Here it being the shades of purple, blue, and black. So I've gone over the edges with a black pencil so that it kind of gives you the depth. And there are different butterflies which are stamped and heat embossed, and a little bit of washi tape. This is the Tim Holtz from the vintage collection, I guess, and a saying that says fly because life is too short to wait, and a small image of time as well. So this is a different take on grunge. I wouldn't say it's the typical brown grunge effect that you do, but it's the same take, but on a vibrant and playful color. Now, this is actually the first art journal page that I did, but I thought this both went well together in terms of page layout when I bound the book. Um, so this is actually decoupage on paper. So I have gessoed the page, which if you see is just plain ruled paper, and I have this image which is decoupaged on top of gessoed base, and I've added a lot of texture medium stenciling and collaging of different pattern papers behind it. It was a very cute image, so I thought, why not let it be about friendship. So here is my first ever art journal page that I created. Now this is all about vintage. Um, the stamp is from krafttime or hdmd.com, and it says road trip. Along with it, it's a really vintage looking card, so I wanted the pages to also have that effect. So these are coffee dyed pages, and I have actually did some burnt techniques on the edge of the paper as well, some taunt techniques, and added vintage photo distress ink to give it more of a depth. So it says road trip. The road trip is actually from the stamp set as well, and so the adventure begins is from the Tim Holtz washi strips. So there you go. Next, it is quite bulky actually. This is one of my favorite layout pages because it doesn't have too much, but if you look closely, there is a bit of texture paste and stenciling going on. I'm not sure if it kind of catches the light correctly, but there you see it. It's kind of a flower pattern which is all around it, as well as an image of a pathway, and I couldn't find a sentiment that best suited it, so I just picked the lines from one of my favorite poems, Two Roads Diverged in a Yellow Wood from Robert Frost. It says, Two roads diverged in a wood, and I took the ones less traveled by, and that has made all the difference. Sure, it has. Don't be afraid to take your own decisions. Don't be afraid to tread on paths that are less traveled by. So, a black layout page for you. This is another page which is just made out of scraps. So I have added strips of cardboard all along the way, and bits and pieces of metal embellishments. These are charms that you would use in jewelry, as well as some seed beads. And this is a piece of pendant that I worked on but really didn't come out well, so I added it here and gave it the title Imagination, because why not? Every page, it's how you imagine it to be and what you want it to be, isn't it? So this page denotes that for me. The pendant also signifies uh, sun rays and the light emanating out of it and illuminating the dark spaces. So that's what I've gone for here in this page. Yeah. Okay, this is another slightly grunge and vintage looking, but most of this layout page is done with decoupage on base pages and a little bit of stenciling with texture paste and a lot of uh, color splashes and acrylics. I haven't added too much of stamping, just a little bit to give the image a slight difference and some depth. So it says bloom where you're planted. I've seen this journal prompt in many pages and I thought, uh, why not use that? So here is one which I think looks pretty decent. Okay, this is one of my favorites as well. Um, Everything that you create is your favorite, isn't it? So, but still, I really like this because I have tried to give it the effect of bricks using cutout cardboards. So, just cut some pieces of cardboard and stick them around like how you would fathom bricks to be. And this is again decoupage on paper. Um, I believe these both these images and some others as well came from one set of decoupage sheets that I brought off of Crafts Lane, and it says "Make today count and live in the moment." So probably when you're visiting places, enjoy what you see, take things in, live in the moment, and don't let it pass. Yeah, there you go. Ha. I I absolutely adore this one because of its simplicity. There's nothing much going on in this page except gessoed background and a couple of distress crayons that are just smudged. There is a little bit of slight stamping along the way that you would find, which is a vintage script stamp. And these two images are from the Itsy Bitsy stamp set, and I have just drawn an oversized bird to give it a family feel. So looks like a mother chick with two baby ones, and it says family is love. And here is an oops moment. I This page actually got um, cut here, and I just turned it into a branch. So if things don't go your way, make things look as if they were meant to be. Yeah, and this is the final page of this particular journal book, and this is again following the same techniques that I had here, which is gluing a set of strips or papers together to give it an illusion of a particular layout or a design. So I all these are basically just pieces of cardstock stuck together and then gessoed on top along with the coloring medium here, which is a couple of distress crayons and watercolors. Nothing too much fancy going on. Like you could do this with a plain set of watercolors or brush pens that you have. And I've just darkened the edges with some black color pencil. To each of these focal points, or each of the square portions that you have, you could add your focal points and enhance them, and it will kind of help it stand out, and make the layout look more organized and meant to be. So when I created the layout, there was nothing in my mind. I just created the base, and such shapes and arrangement of the base papers sometimes trigger good ideas in you, and that can be your motivation to go ahead and create and finish the pages. So this is a set of cacti which says, "I'll never desert you." And thus finishes my first art journal. I hope you enjoyed it, and there are a couple of more books that I have completed. So let me know if you enjoyed this and you would like to see more of such videos. Thank you so much. Have a great day.